All right, well, what questions you guys have for me?
So Thursday, the offense, you said, had the upper hand. After watching film, was it as bad or good as you thought?
Not as bad, but there's some things that we can work on. I think defensively we held some guys out, and Sitake didn't practice, neither did Corbin in the scrimmage, the live part. But there's some guys that needed the reps, so I think it was good for the younger guys to get kind of welcome to college football that way, But I thought our guys handled the physical part of the game really well. And the defense responded well when they came back today, but that's because we had a lot of the right guys in there. When you have, last week we didn't have Zane or Butch or Sione going, and that's our starting linebacking core right there. So, not to make excuses for them, but younger guys should have been able to perform a lot better than what they did Thursday. But we'll just keep working on it. It was really good film, and I thought more than anything, just good experience for those young guys to get.
Where's everybody at compared to maybe where you would want them to be heading into week 3?
I think they're right where we want them to be. As far as I'm looking at the install, we changed and added a lot of scheme stuff on defense, and on offense we did the same with just a new offense. And then with the new offense, they just brought a bunch of stuff in there and kind of just flooded them with install. And so I think offensively they've actually matched the demand, and defensively there's a lot of intricacies to the part of defense where you have to apply it to what your reaction is to what the offense is doing. So there's a lot to be taught through film, but I think the best way to do it is just get out there and just practice. And so it's been really good for our younger guys, especially guys that have been away from football and returned missionaries, and it's just good to bash them up a little bit and see what happens. So.
You mentioned the install the first week or two was pretty heavy compared to what you'd seen in the past. Has it slowed down at all, or they just carried on?
No, they're still going. That's. I think Coach Grimes and his staff really want to get a lot of things on film. We want to do the same thing on defense, and so I think at some part we have to scale back a little bit, but I think we're trying to get a good foundation set so that we can get going for the fall, and then start planning on getting ready for Arizona and our opponents on the schedule. Right now, we're just trying to lay down the basics and the fundamentals that we're trying to do offensively and defensively. Doing the same thing special teams wise. So, in the 15 practices that were allowed. So I'm really happy with the progress that we're going with right now as a team, and I think leaders are starting to step up, and so it's a fun part of football right now.
What's been your impression of a player like Zach Toe?
Well, I recruited the kid, so yeah, so it's probably a good one. He handles his business in the classroom and does well off the field, and does a great job. When he first got back from his mission, it was really a couple of days before school started. And we just wanted him to be part of the off-season conditioning program. Wanted to redshirt him, and I would say mid-season, Fred Warner and the captains came up and said, "Hey, we got to play this guy. He's one of our best players." And we thought about it and just thought it would be better for him to just come, and start in January and just complete the redshirt year. And I think it's been really good for him. He's progressed a lot further than a lot of return missionaries have, including myself. So because I served a really tough mission. Anyways, but he's done a great job, and we have a lot of great players that have handled getting back in shape. There's a lot of guys that have lost a lot of weight and gained a lot of weight and trying to get back into form so we can help be successful this fall.
We haven't been able to see much of special teams. What have you seen from those guys, especially the kickers?
Well, Rhett's still here, and I think for him, he's a guy that we can count on, and there's other guys that we're still working with, Mickelson and some others, but I don't think there's a huge demand on them right now. Plus, Skylar Southam still, we're waiting for him to start school in the spring, so right now they kind of take a back seat to everything, so probably don't want to judge us on special teams right now. I think most of the focus on the offense and defense right now.
We didn't see Bo out there with the part.
Oh yeah, Bo's sick.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So I think that's we kind of kept him away from everybody because he's sick. That's it.
Aaron's mentioned he wants to have a pretty tight rotation coming out of spring. Is there a number of guys you want to have competing going into fall camp?
I think it all depends. We'll have to see how the rest of spring goes, and it's hard for me to project it from now. But I will play the best one. I don't care what year they're a freshman or senior or whatever it is. So. the best one to play.